bit about the level of granularity and sort of how you select that? Because it seems like with a computer-based assessment, you basically have infinite data possibilities.
Yeah.
Click in this quadrant of the screen or that quadrant, and how do you, in some practical way, distill that?
Yeah, it kind of depends on partly how much money you have and partly where you find decreasing returns. Design comes in toward the very beginning because you've already thought about what are some of the kinds of things you need to see people doing in situations with certain features, and you build into the interface and the affordances some things that you know are pretty likely to give you meaningful actions. I know that at Crest, let's see, did you work on the shipboard navigation?
No, but I've worked on similar logging systems.
Yeah, and also marine marksmanship. They're getting data millisecond by millisecond to find out if you're pulling the trigger in the right timing with your breathing and even your heartbeat. So that's a situation where that level of accuracy is required for the inferences that you need to make. So in other things, like in SimCity EDU, kids were doing thousands of points and clicks and things like that. What we were looking for were larger patterns, things like did they know to bring a new low pollution plant online before they shut down all the old pollution ones? Because yeah, that'd drop the pollution, but then there's no power and no industry and business and everybody left and you lost the game. The EA people used the metric of interest and continuing to play the game. When they got decreasing returns of it didn't give them any more predictive value about whether you had finished the game, then they'd say, okay, we've got enough. For us, one of the metrics that we would have would be accuracy of inference, basically a generalization of reliability. If you found out with a relatively few key points and key kinds of classes of actions, you got a certain amount of reliability, and you did a lot of data mining, and it only got you a fraction higher, you'd say, okay, we don't need to do that. But if you were found out that you're getting a lot more information about, say, somebody's level of systems thinking, you'd say, okay, we're going to keep doing that until we see decreases in the amount of information that we're getting about our target capabilities. Yeah, and one of the misconceptions is that the more data you have, the better inferences you'll make. And yeah, it's true that the more data you have, the more money you spend. But that's where design comes in. You know where the rich ore is going to be. You can build it so that, well, like in the SimCity thing, one of the things that we had the kids do is we had everybody at the end build a little diagram, little systems diagram with the tools that they're learning to think about systems. So that's something that had an instructional purpose, but also for every kid, we would know where to look and what to look for as a good toehold for the target for data mining.